Hey everybody, today's review is on Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. So the plot of this movie is this guy named Edgin Darvis, played by Chris Pine, is on trial with this barbarian named Holga, played by Michelle Rodriguez, because they were they were attempting a heist to steal this tablet that of resurrection, so that Edgin can resurrect his late wife. So the whole thing is kind of like a non-linear story. Well, for the most part, most of it kind of forget it's kind of a flashback, but the whole thing shows Edgin planning a heist to steal this tablet while joining a bunch of other uh, wild fantasy characters and attempting to steal it and planning a heist while everybody is after them. I honestly had a fun time with this movie. I don't know really anything about Dungeons and Dragons. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons. I know it's that game that every nerd plays. Like, I know it's really popular, but I've never played it. I don't really know much of it. I don't know the world well. Well, then again, it's just a board game, so I guess it's nothing really too complex. But I really don't know anything, so I didn't really know much going into this movie. Well, from the trailers, like, I knew what to expect. I thought it would just be, a fun fantasy blockbuster, and yeah, I thought it was pretty fun. It's it's nothing amazing, definitely, and it's not, it's obviously it's not a masterpiece, but for what it is, I actually really enjoyed it, and even as someone who doesn't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons, I can safely say I really, really had a fun time with this. It's fun. We don't really get much movies like these fantasy comedies, really. Like this one, like think of this movie as kind of like a big budget version of Princess Bride. Like it's very silly, but and it's very, amusing, but it's also has like like a creative fantasy world, and there's so much that you don't really see in much movies. It kind of reminded me of that a little bit. It really felt kind of like an 80s fantasy film, but like a more modern, big budget version of that. And it was really unique to see. And all the performances were really good. I think every actor worked well with each other. I think Chris Pine's a really good lead for this kind of stuff. Like, he's very likable, he's very charming, and, yeah, there's a lot of one liners in this movie, given, it's an action comedy. But, I think it works with the style of movie this is going for, and that's what made Chris Pine, like, he's very likable, but he also has a heart to him because he really cares about his wife, and even though he's a thief, you realize that he's not just, some unlikable one-dimensional delinquent. No, he has a daughter, he had a wife, and he really tries to form friendships with a bunch of other people, and it really makes him a charming character, and you really want to root for him. Justice Smith was in it. Yeah, he's kind of like the typical Justice Smith character, the kind of uh, the awkward teenager. Well, I don't know if he's a teenager, but like he kind of like doesn't know what's going on. But like, I mean, like he's not a bad actor. I mean, I liked him in Detective Pikachu, and I didn't hate him in Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. I didn't think it was that. I know a lot of people found it annoying, and yeah, I can kind of see it. But here, he's fine. He's way more tolerable. I actually liked him. Sophia Lillis, who played Beverly in It, like it has a good cast. Michelle Rodriguez is in it. She's always a beautiful actress. I always like her. She's from the Fast and Furious movies, which I really need to finish, and she made a really good lead as the strong, you know, the muscle of the group, and she was really likable. And Hugh Grant plays the villain, and okay, maybe it's not Paddington 2 level good, but like Hugh Grant does do a good job as villains. I really got to admit, he was very likable in this. He really should do more villains in comedy films because I actually really think he's really charming, and I think he's really always fun to watch. So I think he was a really good choice for like a fantasy comedy. I really thought it was good. The effects, they're good. Um, Lots of the CGI on all the creatures and stuff, like it looks really good. Lots of the action you see, and you see like these. I don't know if most of this was green screen, but like there's like moments where they're like in a dungeon and there's like lava surrounding them everywhere. Like it looks good. Like and even like all the arenas and such. Like it's what you'd expect from a fantasy film, and it's really really fun. And it really brings back that this kind of genre of action movies, just a fantasy adventure. You see like all kinds of exotic worlds that you don't normally see anymore, but I guess because people think that's kind of old fashioned. But you know what? I think it was an interesting thing to see brought back on the big screen, and it's really fun. Lots of the comedy, some of the jokes are actually quite funny. There's this one moment where they try to use up three wishes and like they're thinking like and they actually waste one. Like that was funny, but some of them, yeah, some of them kind of fall flat. It's kind of one of those typical one-linerish where like something awkward and goofy happens, and then someone says, "Well, that just happened." Like sometimes that can happen, but it's not too much. Like for the most part, it's really fun and it's entertaining. And honestly, I wouldn't mind a sequel. Yeah, I'm being real. I actually didn't expect, as someone who knows nothing about Dungeons and Dragons, I was not expecting to actually enjoy it this much, but I actually had a really fun time, and I wouldn't really mind seeing more of this world. And these characters are actually really likable and entertaining, and yeah, I actually wouldn't mind seeing more of it. Hold on, got a battery warning. But yeah, so much of this movie, it has a really creative world and atmosphere. It's really interesting, it and the atmosphere is very big. The scale's great. It's a really fun film. Like if you love big budget fantasy films and you want something a comedy version of it, like this is a fun film. Like is it great? Not exactly, but it is really enjoyable, and I definitely would recommend it. It's really really fun. So yeah, if you just want to see something, if you're just want to see something this weekend and you're just bored and just want to have some fun, I think this is a good one to watch. It's surprising this is still playing in theaters because Paramount, at least my theaters, at least Paramount's been kicking out their movies early lately. Like I couldn't even see Scream 6. That's why I haven't reviewed it yet. Well, hopefully I'll watch it soon. But yeah, Dungeons and Dragons, I was actually really surprised by this. It was actually really fun, kind of a typical action comedy, but you know what? It's not really something you should expect that much from. I guess it is exactly what you expect. And if the trailers impress you, you'll definitely enjoy it. So, yeah, Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves, this was a pretty big surprise. I actually did quite enjoy this one. I didn't catch all the trailers because I was late. Thankfully, I could watch the movie, but yeah, I didn't see all the trailers because yesterday during my screening I arrived late. But for the trailers I did get though, like the ones that I actually saw, I got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. I I just walked in when the trailer ended actually. Like I walked in at the very end. But I think I've already said it before, but I'm really excited for this as a fan of these characters. I really hope this will be a fun time and I can't wait to see it. And I got Transformers Rise of the Beasts. This movie looks really fun. It looks cool seeing, like I know another Transformers movie, but like it looks fun, like especially all the animal versions of like the Autobots and such. Like I don't really know the Transformers world that much, and I know there are dinosaurs in Age of Extinction, but it looks really fun. Looks like what you want from a Transformers movie, like an action-packed, explosive, fun time. Like it looks really fun. I really hope this is good, and I did love Bumblebee, so Bumblebee was actually surprisingly very good. So I'm really hoping this will do the same. So yeah, I'm pretty interested in Transformers. So yeah, Dungeons and Dragons, it was pretty fun. So I'll see you with whatever I got up my sleeve next. So later.